So in your first house, you have Yod, which is it's a destiny card. And the first house is everything to do with your body, your physical appearance, what you project outward to others, how you are perceived by others, how you influence others. And it's basically the self, internal and external, and your characteristics, your personality, all those sorts of aspects. Now, this is a destiny card. It's a fate card. So you may just be feeling at this time that you are having to go it alone, that you're actually having to dig for your own truth when it comes to perhaps how you are projecting yourself, or how you are making your way in the world, your path forward, how you want to be seen by others. You may just be feeling that you have to do some deep digging to actually pull out what is right for you. You're not going to get much advice and support from others. This is pretty much a going alone kind of an aspect. It can be a little bit stressful, and there's going to be quite a lot of tension because this aspect actually brings tension in. So you may just be feeling a little bit stressed at this time. It could also just be possibly about your actual physical body, or your vitality. You may just be feeling strained right now. And if it's your physical body that you're concerned about, there may be some physical issues which you need to address before you can move forward with power, to actually resolve issues and move forward. And it could be autoimmune issues, allergies, that kind of thing. So if it's a physical regime that you're, perhaps undertaking, starting a new physical program of some sort, you may have to address certain things before you can move forward. And if it's perhaps a new undertaking that you want to do, a new physical regime, and you're just you just need to work it out for yourself, what's going to be right for you. Don't overdo it. Don't set yourself, impossible standards, because you're already going to be feeling a little bit stressed in this situation. So don't aggravate it by being overly burdensome in what you need to do. But you're going to have to do your own research and do a little bit of self-reflection to work out how best to move forward. This is going to come back in again later on when we deal with relationships as well, because how you are projecting yourself outwards affects your relationships. It affects just about everything in your chart, but it's going to come in there. I feel that in your chart, there are two main themes here. It seems to be work-related and relationship-related, and sometimes they can be joined. So, that will come in later. Then in the second house, we have Mercury, mind. This is coming into your money house, your income house. And it's all about possessions, what you own, what you value, and land, real estate, property of all kinds. And with this card, it's ruled by, Mercury rules it. So Mercury is the planet of communication, and it's the planet of electronics and technical advances, or just technical instruments, that kind of thing. So it depends how you want to apply it, but basically you may just be asked to bring in the Mercury faculties, which is reasoning, and looking at all forms of communication, and quick-witted, quick thinking, and flexible as well. Being flexible, using your mental faculties to actually work on the various issues that are covered by this house. So it's a quick moving, restless energy. It could also be something to do with, you may have to, when it comes to your income, perhaps you need to communicate about it. You need to actually speak up about issues to do with that. It could be in conjunction with your job, your career, which is coming up again. So maybe you need to ask for something. You need to be clear about what you want to achieve when it comes to your monetary goals and your values, what you value. And you could also be a little bit changeable in that. You could be umming and ahhing about things, or, changing your mind from one day to the next. So, when it comes to monetary issues, you need to be clear about what you want and your goals, and then also when it comes to what you own and so on. And you may just be wanting to purchase new electronics or upgrade your phone or something like that, which is going to assist you in these areas. Or just could be using technology in different ways now. Maybe you want to buy a property and this is coming into it. You've got to now search on the internet and use the internet in different ways. There's lots of different ways that this can manifest for you. But it's all essentially about communication. Then we have in the third house, Uranus, which it brings in the genius factor. But Uranus is also about, incredible lightning bolt change. So, it can be wonderful and incredible, and it can also be an incredible upheaval, a real shock. So when it comes to Uranus, you've got to look at it from all of those sides, and it's coming up in your third house, which is all to do with communication, and that's verbal, written, and your body language as well. How you are actually communicating on all levels with other people. It can be on a smaller scale, sort of with your immediates, and also on a global scale. Perhaps you're being asked to now broaden your reach and what it is you're actually saying, because Uranus is a generational planet. So it's harnessing the genius within, and this often comes about through massive upheaval and change, a real shock. So try and approach any changes or upheavals that are occurring in this area of your life with care. And you may just feel at a loss initially, but always remember any of these planetary influences and especially with Uranus, that quick sudden change is to basically lever you out of some way of being and into a new way of being, because it's necessary. The change is necessary, it's required, and it's for the greater good. It's for your greater good. So it depends how heavily you are entrenched in your current way of doing things, how heavily you are invested in that, and perhaps ways that you've been so used to just working for you, they're not going to work for you anymore. You've now got to grow and change and actually adapt. And so that is what its ultimate aim is for you. It's an erratic energy. It can be very unconventional, eccentric, far-reaching, visionary. And it's also advanced tech. So when it comes to your communication, you're going to be using all of those aspects, or you're going to be asked to use all those aspects to get your message out quicker, faster, much more visionary. There's much more. It's bigger than you've ever, experienced before. And if you're moving in your career and changing something, this is going to be really relevant. It also, the third house also covers contracts of all kinds, legal contracts. So just be aware, that, you may have to bring your genius faculties into that. You're a water sign. So your primary base is feeling and, intuition. So, and sensing things. So you may be sensing something and need to act on it quickly. Or a change will come about to force you to do that. Also the third house deals with siblings, aunts, uncles. So you could be, having some kind of, event going down to do with them, and it centers around communication, or you may have to communicate. There's lots of ways that can come about. This third house also covers short journeys. So you may have to make an unexpected journey very quickly somewhere. This is not long distance. This is more local, sort of quicker journeys. It's also, learning as well. And, you may have to, like I said, you may have to learn new tech. You may have to upgrade your learning skills. Then in the fourth house, we have Taurus. This is your fourth house, which deals with the home and your roots, your identity, your ethnic identity, your foundation that you came up out of in your life. And, so Taurus is a very grounding, very stabilizing sign. So you could be experiencing that in your home life. It's also very earthy. So you may be wanting to improve your garden, spend more time in the garden. There's lots of ways that can apply, but it's also a building house. It's practical, it's methodical, it's stubborn, it's earthy, it's loves sensuality, loves a little bit of luxury. And comfort, nurturing, all of those lovely things. So you may want to, if you're changing your home, or you may just be stabilizing your home life or bringing something in which is going to bring you stability. But ensure that you make your castle, your home, your castle, where it's going to comfort and nurture you. It's a lovely, stable place. It feels safe and secure. You're going to need to do that because this is your foundation. So this is going to be the bedrock upon which everything else comes from. So if you are feeling stable and secure in your home, and it's stable and grounded, then that's going to give you a tremendous amount of security in all the other areas of your life. So it's a very important aspect. It could also be that you may need to bring a bit of artistic flair into your home, make it beautiful, and an enriching place for you to be. Yeah. Okay. Then we are now in the 5th house. We have Neptune. It does indicate sacrifice. It indicates many other things as well, which I'll now cover. Your 5th house is your house of creativity. It's your house of children, love affairs, romance, recreation of all kinds, sport, it could be yoga classes, whatever, and just having fun, fun of all kinds. It's also gambling, if that's your thing. So now, in your 5th house, you've got Neptune appearing there. Yes, it can bring sacrifice in. So this could be either you are sacrificing for your children, or your children are going through some sort of phase which requires sacrifice, but you're going to be experiencing it in some way. And it could also be in a relationship, a love affair that is now starting, where you may have to do away with certain things in order to move the relationship forward, or just to work together it's the beginning stages of a relationship, of a love affair. So this is all about connecting. Neptune is all about connecting to your divinity, and it could be a divine partnership as well. So it's all about establishing that. It could also be a little bit of confusion and basically lack of boundaries. So beautiful, wonderful, enlightening, very spiritual kind of relationship, but also be careful you don't lose your boundaries or lose your way or lose your sense of direction and be sort of absorbed into it. It could also be that you're attracting somebody who is Neptunian like yourself, because you're Pisces, so Neptune is your home planet. So you could be attracting another person like that, and be experiencing yourself reflected back at you. So it's also where it's where you're vulnerable. So it could be a wonderfully beautiful relationship. So it could be the love of your life, or it could be full of illusion, smoke and mirrors, very confusing, lack of boundaries. So there's that sort of dual element there. Or you could just be a little bit of both, feeling incredibly in love, but at the same time feeling like you're losing your footing a little bit. So it's a case of, working your way through that, or your children could be going through that, or you as a parent are just having to put certain things aside for yourself in order to address certain issues with your children. It could also be allergens coming up. Your children may be suffering from a few things to do with that. It could also be this Neptune does also rule drugs and addictions, alcohol, that kind of thing, any kind of escapism. It does bring that in. So you'll have to just see how that's going to appear for you. And the 5th house also deals with creativity. So if you are in a work situation, and you're working on creative projects, it's wonderful to access the higher qualities of Neptune, which is imagination, that dreaminess, sort of tapping into the divine, fantasy, that kind of bringing all that in. It's wonderful for writing and for filmmaking and for appreciating the arts. All of those have a place with Neptune. And in the 5th house, which is your house of creativity, you may be asked to bring that in, or you're just naturally tapping into it. So if you're writing a book, or you're going to be doing some creative project where those wonderful finer qualities are required, then this is going to be a very good thing for you. Or it could be that your children are having to do that. And you being a Neptune ruled, a Pisces, you may very well be able to transmit that to your children and lead them in that direction. Then we have in the 6th house, you have South Node. The South Node is all about karma, past lives, and just the past in general. So if you are a person who's tracking past lives, or you have an interest in it and you'd like to explore it a bit further, this is definitely coming up for you. It could also just be your past in this life, what has gone on. The 6th house deals with all things to do with your work projects, your craftsmanship, your mastering your craft. It's your workplace, your work colleagues, everything to do with that. And it's also to do with health and diet, and also to do with pets. So you may have a pet leaving you or coming back to you, which feels very familiar. It's a different looking pet, but it will have familiar sort of characteristics, reminds you of another pet, very relevant. If it's to do with the health, again, it's allergies, again, is coming up. And there could be various issues sort of rising to the surface. It could also be ailments to do with a past life. So if you're interested in that and you want to explore, find a trusted therapist or somebody who can assist you with that, or just do a little bit of self-exploration. But it's also about putting an end to things that you have perhaps doing in your health and your diet, which are no longer serving you. So it's one door closing and another one opening. It could be a very rapid, quick change, very unsettling. But you have to put those things to bed. You have to actually solve unresolved things. You have to end things, find resolutions to things which have dogged you in the past, because you need to move forward. The South Node is all about the past. You need to, but you can't reach your future. You can't embark on your current life mission if you're bringing baggage in from before. So it's about clearing out that baggage and distributing, sending it off, discharging it from your psyche, from your life, closing the door on that and moving forward with confidence. Because once you do make that step in the right direction, then it will be great. It's a form of transformation. It's a very powerful transformation. If it's to do with work, again, all of those things apply. I feel it's changing what you have been doing in the past. So this is going to be leaving your comfort zone. So if it's, past lives of, you come in with those skills, you pick up those talents and skills again when you return, and you will feel very comfortable doing those things. You'll be very comfortable in that, but it kind of stifles your growth. And that's what you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. In every lifetime, you must be achieving some goal or moving forward in another direction, which is what you set before you come here. So it's all arranged, already. And the longer you linger in the past, then it prevents you from moving forward. And this card is going to come along, or this aspect is going to come along and absolutely blitz whatever it was out of your life and force you to put it aside and to deal with it, end it, and move forward as quickly as possible, because it's necessary growth and movement forward, projection forward. So it could be that you are, as I said, changing workplace, or you're changing the way you do things, the way you work, your work projects. You can't take things, you can't move forward currently as is. You're going to have to transform it and move forward. Yeah, it's quick, it's rapid, it's a very unsettling change. So go with it, work with that energy as much as possible. The sixth house is also the house of service. So if you are in service work, you may tend to be attracted to things over and over again, the same ways of doing things, the same kinds of work, and you're going to be asked to move forward in a different path now.